welcome in everybody to the Fly for Fun show, January 29th. Got my cheat sheet here, guys. After all these years, I still use a cheat sheet. January 29th, show 3 of 2025. Welcome in Captain Ray. And of course, tonight, I did send Billy the link and he gave me a thumbs up. So he'll be joining us just in a few seconds. Actually, he's back to eating some shrimp, I see, or crawfish. So we'll have to show him how to peel them, but no, Billy just popped in. We'll get Billy in a few seconds. I got a great sticker pack tonight to give away. Some nice stickers, some new stickers, and we'll give away a Start RC cap. So Ray, let's welcome. Oh wow, I'll tell you what, we got some birthdays. Happy birthday to Charles Hatmaker, Dennis Brooks, Lori Kovac, Roz had a birthday, and Shelly Moore, DeMarco Moore's wife. So Captain,
happy birthday, everybody.
Joe Photo Leo had an anniversary. His wife's been putting up with him for 17 years, even though he's a Swifties fan and she's not. And to get well to Alan, Drone Views Media. Alan's been having some health problems, not been able to fly. So keep him in your prayers. And Scott and they do also. So
get well soon. God bless.
Well, Ray, let's say a quick hello to everybody. And
I tell you, we got a great crowd watching already. Yeah, Angel, he was number one, and Angie, she was right behind him. How you doing, Angie? Jody, Drone Shots, how you doing? And Bent Rail Productions. And there's your buddy, Captain Joe, USA Drone Flyer. How you doing? Good to see you. And we got, of course, Joe Fodoleo in the house. How you doing, Joe? And I'm going up. And John Flynn, Flying Flynn Media. How you doing, John? And we got Brian, Waypoint, New England. How you doing? And John Olson's watching on Long Island. Tar Heel Aerials is in the house. How you doing?
I'm laughing at Sam Lepore. I'm here for Billy Boy.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Sam? Good to see you. And we got a celebrity. DeMarco's in the house. FSU grad 03. How you doing, DeMarco? And if I skipped your name, I didn't do it on purpose. David, AZ Drone Dude, how you doing? Good to see you. And Jerry Bowers in the house. And Bob Casey, Big Bob's in the house.
Bob Casey, yeah, absolutely.
And Eddie Nunez, another drone celebrity's watching. How you doing, Eddie? And we got Andrew, Hike and Fly, watching there up in Vermont. And let's see, who else is in the house here? All right, going up the list. Don't want to miss anybody. We'll check the names as you come, as the show's going on. Try to acknowledge you. But we appreciate you guys watching. We really do. And like Johnny said, we got a great guest on tonight. He's one of the drone celebrities. I call him a drone celebrity, and we all love his videos. We know he gets the latest and greatest, and maybe we can get some good information from him.
I'm telling you. Guys, if you got any questions, Q&A, Billy will be glad to answer. All right, let's get Billy in here. Billy, welcome in.
What is up? Long time no talk to you guys.
Hey, Billy, how you doing?
I know it's been a while since, I guess, South Florida drone meetup last year,
Yeah, it's coming around again. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, 66 days away. Billy, I know you're coming, right?
I got the time here, 56 days, yeah.
Lon and I got the flights and hotel booked.
Good deal, good deal. Yeah, well, Billy, we appreciate you coming, and I'll tell you what, it's a great event. And I know you've been to the last few, and and the event has grown. I think, Ray, how many people you got on the list?
We got 131 on the list right now with only 3 cancellations. So yeah,
sweet.
We're gonna have another great South Florida drone meetup. That's for sure.
Where's that this go around?
Same place. Jensen Beach, Causeway Park, and Jensen Beach. It's just very conducive, and nobody bothered us down there. So one of these days, they're going to say, hey, you got a permit to be doing this? But so far, so good. So
Eddie Nunez wants to know what number is Billy on the list.
I don't think I registered yet.
You gave me a commitment. When I was walking around the Tesla takeover, we bumped into each other. What a small world. And you gave me a commitment.
That was
so
hilarious.
I put you on the list,
Okay. What number am I then?
Oh, geez, let me find you now. I got to go back and find you. Let's
just see. Make them higher than Eddie Nunez. That's all. No, hey, Billy, let me tell you something about that list. When you say yes,
101, Billy, 101.
you can't get off that list when you tell Ray you're coming. I can tell you that.
That's fine. I'm on it. I'm looking forward to it. It's always at a good time where like it's still a little bit cold in Philly, so it's nice to get out and just like get a full taste of summer almost.
Yeah. Well, Billy, what's new? What you got going? I know you're busy. How's the? Are you busy in real estate and drone work? Or are you staying busy?
Yeah, it's a little bit busy right now. It's definitely slower. We've had a lot of snow here recently, so that's just kind of pushed things back. It always seems like December and January are the slowest months. And then, as my good friend Sam said, who is in the who's watching, he's a real estate agent that I work with, and he says that the Super Bowl is the unofficial start of the spring market. So we'll see what happens, especially up here in Philly. I mean, with the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, everybody's kind of going to be paying attention to that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I did real estate for
Go Phillies.
Yeah, I did real estate for 24 years, and yeah, it seems like right after, as soon as people even start thinking about spring a little bit, that they put houses up for sale. There's some movement,
Yes.
in school and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yep.
it's a busy time, and somebody's always moving, and they got to move because of work or health or just a lot of reasons, So
Yeah.
We can't tell Joe Fortaleo we're rooting for the Eagles,
You know what, man? That was I was wondering during the conference championship game how that was going to go, and it just seemed like the Eagles were in the driver's seat the whole time. Like there was no doubt that they were going to win that game, which was very relaxing because usually I'm on the edge of my seat till the end of the game, seeing if they're going to win or not.
Well, it's a close game. It looks like I think now it's a 2-point. I think Kansas City's up by 1.5 or 2 points is the line. So it's I think it's going to be almost a pick 'em by the time they play. That's just me,
Yeah, it'll be definitely a fun game to watch. I think that we have a better team than we did 2 years ago when we played them. So
yeah, Billy, you got one of our Hammond guys on there. Devontae Smith is
yes, yep.
Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, Devontae. He's a nice young man. Does a lot of stuff for the community, and he played right up the road at high school, about 15 miles from here. He's actually from Hammond, but he comes back and does a lot of stuff. So his family is they're very well respected in the community. And I tell you what, he's a nice young man. I can tell you.
That's awesome.
Met him a couple times, and he's just a plain old guy who happens to be really good at football.
Yeah. So therefore, he's really popular.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I really think it's going to be a close game. Not going to be no blowout. It's going to be a great game.
I agree. I'm hoping it comes down to the wire because those are the most fun games to watch.
Exactly. So you recently did a ski trip or something, right?
Yeah, I was out in Whistler. And that's the first time that I've been out there to ski, and it was a lot of fun. I mean,
did you do much flying drones out there, or just skiing?
Not really. It's tough in Whistler to fly. They have a heliport right in the middle of the town, and usually that wouldn't affect us here in the States, but in Canada, the heliports are almost treated just like a regular airport would.
Really?
So I think it has a 2-kilometer radius around it that you're not allowed to fly around. So it made it a little bit difficult to fly out there. But the skiing was fun. There's a lot of really great mountains out there, or a lot of really great runs out there.
Well, needless to say, my skiing ended about 15 years ago.
No, come on. You can still throw the skis on.
Yeah. Something I never done. All right, Billy, let's drones. Where are we staying? I think I asked you. It seems like I ask you this every time you're on, but it seems like every time there's a new drone, and of course, the Mavic 4 or Mavic 4 Pro is kind of hinted to be coming out. Of course, they got some videos now, and they got a lot of leaks on it. So, is that drone going to kind of take us to the final plateau of what some of the guys need?
Isn't it crazy how it seems like every time a drone comes out, you're like, all right, I'm good. Like this will be my last one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to end up going and buying another one. And, you kind of think about that with cell phones too. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of on the every year upgrade cycle with the iPhone, and it's just starting to feel harder and harder to determine the new stuff that's coming with the phones, just because it does seem like they've reached this plateau of how can a smartphone get any better? And, when I look at a drone, when the Mavic 3 came out, it was so great. But now that I've been living with it for the past, 2.5 years, almost 3 years that drone's been out, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm like, man, I wish it did this. So I feel like over the life cycle of a drone, you start to kind of understand some of the things that would be important in like a future upgrade. And then you start chomping at the bit, like, okay, I could definitely use an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I think that it's definitely evident, like when they came out with the Air 3S and how that started pushing really hard up against the Mavic 3. Well, now it's like, how can you justify buying the Mavic 3 when the Air 3S is so good? So
Yeah.
now that the Air 3S has come out, I feel like a Mavic 4 has to be, imminent in some way, because the Mavic 3 at this point really lacks in compared to the Air 3S when the Air 3S is like half the price. So I don't think we've plateaued. I think that there's always going to be these different ways that they can improve upon the drone. I know that every time that I go out and fly, there's always things that I just wish were a little bit better. So I don't know. I mean, I think that they're going to continue to find like innovative ways, whether it's through like new software or whether it's through like a new hardware piece. Like, for
Yeah.
example, you look at the Mini 4 Pro and like that vertical spinning camera, right? And the fact that you can shoot vertical video, which is really important to a lot of people. And they've kind of held that off and only made the Mini 4 Pro like that one single drone. Well, don't you know, like an Air 4 or Mavic 4 could feature that similar gimbal design, to where now it's like, okay, that's like the one thing that's going to make me want to upgrade. So they have to introduce like a good amount of upgrades across the board to try and snag people in different areas. Like they upgrade the camera for people that wanted better performance in that regard. They maybe upgrade the drone to try to grab people in that regard too. I mean, for me, myself, like I love the nimble body of the drone and how quick it is. Like the Air 3S is so good in terms of speed. So that's why I really hope that with the Mavic 4, like we see big upgrades to the drone itself, because I feel like there's just so much more you can get out of that folding airframe.
Yeah, and I think they got to distinguish at some point, Air 3S, and then like if it would have had the vertical video, and then the Mavic Mini 4 Pro did. I mean, if they were all the same and all the features, then you probably would never move up, or you'd keep your drones longer, and that's
Exactly.
what they don't want you to do, I guess.
It is true. And, it comes to a point where, like, after a feature has been locked to one drone for so long, they're finally like, okay, we'll give in and we'll just make this a standard feature across the board.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of really great benefits that come from that vertical shooting camera. Like, you have so much range of motion to look up and down with the gimbal. So even when you're flying faster, there's no issues with the gimbal itself. But again, like, I just think that, like, let's say Air 4 comes out. Let's say they have that drone, with the Air 3S being the newest. I mean, at this point, you've got to wonder, like, what more can they add to the Air 3S to make it better? Well, they could just give that one little feature to an Air 4, design it up a little bit differently, and now it's like totally brand new.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No.
But you really like the Air 3S? You think it's that much better than the Mavic 3?
That's my everyday drone. I've literally got it on the table right now because I'm dumping files from today. But like, that's the drone that I fly every day. I think that the camera's great. I was just up in Michigan visiting my friend's family, and I have this photograph where I'm standing there and I have the sun directly behind me, like, blasting the back of my head and my body, and there's a big shadow directly in front of me. And with that photo, the dynamic range is so good that like you could perfectly capture all of the detail in my body and in my face, and I can bring the shadows up without really degrading the image. So I think that just with it being their newest camera, it produces some of the best images that you can get on a drone.
You got a question there.
The 4B more of a pro versus a prosumer drone, inching towards a scaled down Inspire type. I don't know. I mean, I think if they keep the same size, there's only so much they can do with it. So I think that if they wanted to inch towards it being an Inspire, you'd have to go to a Phantom level drone. Like you'd have to make it bigger. So, I think that if they have to play that game between size and what they can offer in the actual drone itself. I mean, you look at the full frame camera on the Inspire, and it's literally the size of the Mini 4 Pro. Like, you can only put such good technology into a drone, as size will allow.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody who has that drone loves it. I haven't talked to one person that don't like it. Really.
What's that? The Inspire 3?
No, the Air 3S. Yeah, that Air 3S.
Yeah. I wonder like how the sales are with that drone. I think that like every new drone that comes out is not intended to grab people from like the last generation upgrade. And I think that you specifically look at the Air series of drones and see that. So like when the Air 2 came out, it was a nice little upgrade, but then the Air 2S really pushed the boundary with that 1-inch sensor. And then when the Air 3 comes out, I think there was a lot of people that were like, I don't want to upgrade to a drone that has a smaller sensor. like despite everything else being upgraded, like just kind of like the step backwards in terms of sensor size really made people pause and think, do I really want to buy this drone with a smaller sensor than the drone I already have? Well, I think that the Air 3S is like that drone for people with the Air 2S to want to upgrade, not necessarily people with the Air 3,
Yeah,
obviously. So
the Air 2S has got like a little cult following. I mean, people
tell
love
you
that.
what, man, I'll tell you what, if that drone was something I could not recommend more,
Yeah.
$1,000, it was like so good for what it was.
Yeah, no, one of my big pet peeves, of course, you couldn't zoom on a camera, but they never
Yeah.
added it. Everybody kept, and of course, they're not going to add it now. But Bob Casey got a
Got another
question.
question for you from Eddie, Billy.
Oh man, I'm thinking about switching over to a Jeep. I think that switching over a Jeep would be right. No, I would never do that.
I
Uh,
know you're
the
Tesla guy all the way.
Yeah,
so
Bob Casey, what's the most wanted feature you would want? I guess in a drone, Billy, on a new. I don't know if he's talking about a new drone or what's any feature that you would off the top of your head.
you know what? So I have this video that I made a while ago where I kind of went over a couple of them. I'm going to pull it up here.
Sure.
It was something about do we? I'm trying to look for keywords within all my notes here. Um, let's see. You know what? I'm gonna have to look it up on my actual YouTube channel because I'd made a video kind of like as the Air 3S was coming out. Uh, I made a video called "Do We Even Need like a Mavic 4?" So this is kind of answering what we were talking about in the beginning, where you start wondering like, do you even need a drone like upgraded? Like, is this now plateaued? So let's see some of the things that I had mentioned. Um, I'll run down my list here of things that I'd love to see, in a drone, whether it be a Mavic 4, an Air 4, whatever. Dual micro SD card slots would be great. So being able to put two cards in the drone for increasing your total storage or just having that redundancy in case one of them fails. I'd love to have more than 8 GB of flash storage, which have kind of already come true with like the 40 gigs on the Air
Yeah.
3S. I want a drone that's faster, which Air 3S kind of did that as well. I'd like better gimbal range, so kind of like Mini 4 Pro, just giving you the ability to, have better gimbal range as well as vertical shooting. So that would be nice on the Mavic 4. This is something that Eddie can attest to because we've spoken about this. USB-C ports directly on the batteries, so you can plug them in without having to plug the drone in to charge your batteries. And then the final thing that I'll mention on here, and I think that this is the one thing that's really lacking, is some sort of optical zoom. So with these drones, we have the two different cameras to give us two different focal lengths, which is great, but I'm missing the ability to zoom in between there and not lose quality.
Right.
So, I think that if you can design something like, look at the Mavic 2 Zoom, you had the ability to zoom between 24 millimeters and 48 millimeters. So like 1x and 2x, for example, I would take less total overall zoom with the ability to have full quality all the way through. So I would say with the Mavic 3 Pro, ditch the tele camera, ditch the 166 millimeter camera, and give me one big optical zoom sensor from 24 millimeters to that 70 millimeters, and I'd be super happy.
Yeah, onboard storage, Bob Casey. And look, it is very convenient. Yep. I mean, I of course we all keep SD cards, but yeah, having that on Air 3S, it makes it really easy. I guess to just to shoot and not worry about that. And of course, I'm sure the 4 would have even more. But
it's also faster storage. It's faster than the micro SD card. So if you're shooting a bracketed photo or if you're dumping files off, it's going to be way quicker than using a micro SD card.
Billy, what would the single camera optical zoom? I mean, what would that do to price wise? I mean, is that why they kind of keep steering away from the optical?
I don't know. I think that like they're all about numbers, and if you can tell somebody that it can zoom in 166 millimeters without losing quality, that looks way better from a marketing standpoint. But I think that we would get much more use out of a lower range zoom that has full quality all the way throughout. So, I mean, if you're taking photographs and you come home with photos from your main camera and then your zoom camera, they're two different sensors and you have two different color sciences. So you copy and paste your edits across, you're going to have a different look with the different cameras. So I prefer one main camera. And it's also crazy how many Mavic 4 leaks are already out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I mean, this kind of popped up today. Man, and then
when this stuff
what
starts coming
else?
out, you know that it's close.
I mean, right here,
I really hope it comes out before the South Florida drone meetup. I'd love to see a few
That'd
of
be
them
nice.
down there.
That would be nice. What do you guys think of the flip?
Well, I'm not an FPV guy,
flip.
so
I don't see a whole big need for the flip. That's just me. But I know with the Neo, it's I think that the difference is to me, the flip should have been released first and then the Neo. That I just think they were flip flops. But because the price wise, I think you'd have bought the flip, being new and being kind of a different feature, and then the Neo at $199. If you bought the Neo at $199, I really don't see the need. But so what do you think about it, Billy? I mean, it's very unique.
Do you like it?
No, I think it's cool. Like, honestly, at first, I was like, oh, what is this? But it's really cool how it folds down, super compact. I have it. I got it sitting right here. It's so cool how like the whole entire thing completely folds up into,
look how small it is. Really,
this is so easy to carry around with you. And I think that it's really cool how the propellers are like kind of covered, so there's nothing snagging. I mean, this is literally, you just fold this thing up, throw it in your bag, and go. So for me, like, I think it just comes down to like, what would you rather buy, the Mini 4 Pro or the Flip? And there's definitely pros or cons in there, and you've just got to decide, which one is right for you, because both of the drones are so similar. And price is the big thing. I mean, the Mini 4 Pro is $300 more expensive than the Flip across the board. So.
What about the wind? I mean, is it hard to fly in a wind?
So they rate it on paper to be exactly the same, has the same top speed, same wind resistance, but you can feel that the Flip definitely struggles more against wind. But again, I mean, people might not care about that for that price difference. $300 across the board is a pretty significant difference.
And the camera's great on that drone, right? The camera is very good.
Same across the board, except the Mini 4 Pro can flip vertical. So that's why so many people buy these drones, is for the photos and videos they can take. And so if somebody sees a drone that has same range, same weight, same camera, same in a lot of different ways, they'll just go with whatever's cheaper, which is the Flip in this case.
Question from Andy right there. 360 space. Are they going to venture into that?
That'd be nice if they did. I mean, having a more beefy action camera lineup, I think, would be nice to give people options. I feel like the action camera has always just been such an afterthought from DJI. And I think they had something really special with the Action 2, the modular design. And then to ditch that and to go back to just that blocky action camera really was upsetting, because
I still love the Action 2. I don't want to get rid of it,
Yeah. I mean, imagine if they invested into that same design and now they would be on an Action 5, but with that same modular design. I just think it'd be way better than it is now.
And Billy, of course, the new 04 air units, of course, 03, of course, 03, and now they have the 04 and of course 04 Pro, but not so many people, I guess, putting those cameras on drones too, FPV drones, because the camera is so good on the the unit. So that's kind of changed a little bit,
I know it's super interesting. Like, DJI ventured into this FPV space so long ago, and I just wonder where they want to go with it, because on one hand, like, they have the air units for people that want to build their own drone, which is great. Right. The Avata 2 is awesome.
Yep.
The FPV drone, right? That hasn't been updated in 4 or 5 years.
No.
So I mean, like, I think that it's great to have like a ready to fly FPV drone that's super fast. That needs to be updated, like, so bad, like so bad, needs to be updated. The Avata 2 is great. I mean, I could fly that thing for the next couple of years and be totally fine. So Avata 2 is awesome. But then, like, the air units, I wish that they sold parts. Like, I wish that they made it easier to go on their website. And I think it'd be cool if they sold like a whole kit of stuff that you could purchase and then build yourself. And then if they made even like the FPV drone, if instead of saying, hey, here's a completely ready to fly FPV drone, if they made it like this modular kit and they sold all the accessories and all the parts so that you can get it yourself, you can build it. And then when you break something, you go to them to just buy it. I just think that it would be a really great revenue stream for them from like a business standpoint. But I think that it would make consumers happy. Like, people would really enjoy that.
Yeah, because I agree. I think, it's so much now if you buy an air unit, you build a drone, well, you know what? They're going to sell a pair of goggles, too. Mm-hmm. So that's a big, I know when the like even the first Avata came out. I think Bardwell and some of those guys who had it that are truly, FPV guys. But I think they wanted to get those goggles, Integra goggles, on those guys, because the more they brag on them, I like them. Well, the more they'll sell. That's for sure.
They make good goggles, and especially the new ones. Those goggles N3, they're a little bit less expensive,
Right.
and that foam is so comfy around the face. I really like those.
So Billy, what?
I thought it was a lot more popular than I thought it was going to be with the FPV guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the true FPV guys want to make their own. They really do. The carbon fiber one. And by the way, Johnny, we got to say thank you to you and Matt for building that nice FPV drone.
We got a little Mario 5. I'll show it probably. Yeah. It's pretty well done. We just got to program it. But yeah, that'll be fun. It's got an 03 air unit. Billy, do you think they'll keep the 03 air units, or will they just kind of let that go out of production and just have the 04 and 04 Pro?
Yeah, I don't see why they would keep it around. I think that they would just let it go off production, probably try to sell off if they have, anything left. And I think what's evident is the fact that they have just the 04 and the 04 Pro. Like, I think that having two of those options, like having 04 around, for example, there's really no reason to have 03 around. I still wonder why they even came out with these two different versions. It doesn't seem like something that they would have a regular and a pro version of, but I guess maybe it's just for different types of builds, like different types of drones people want to build, whether they're smaller or whether they're bigger.
Yeah, the 04, what they call 04, everybody's saying light, but it's kind of designed for 1 to 3S, and then the 04 Pro is 4S to 6S. Although I know Kai last night on Kai's show said that he's got a 3-inch that he's going to put the 04 on with a 6S battery. So I mean, he's good with volt, all the stuff, the electrical stuff. So I guess he knows what he's doing. But yeah, so those guys are definitely getting those builds, it seems like the trend. I mean, 5-inch drones are great, but it seems like everybody's kind of do 3.5-inch, 4-inch, and all different sizes.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, gosh, that's the one thing that keeps me out of doing FPV is just all of the building and all of the fixing that you have to do. Like, it's just way over my head.
I mean, I know as busy as you say, it would be really hard. I mean, yeah, you might could build one, but after you have to do something to it, I mean, it does take some time. Thank God for my son-in-law. I mean, but it definitely takes some time, and
Well, I'll tell you what too. Like, knock on wood, but I've had such great success with DJI's repair service. My Avata 2 I've probably sent 3 or 4 Avata 2s back to them, and to repair it, which, as you guys know, when you send a drone back for repair, they just basically send you a brand new one.
Swap it out, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I pay like $75 or whatever for a brand new drone, and it's like it's so worth it.
Yeah,
worth it.
I do the one where you send the deposit with $59 or something, and then they just send you the drone before they even get it. It's worth it to me. But,
yeah, I would much rather be able to spend money in order to get it fixed, and the money that you're spending, obviously you'd have to spend money to fix your drone regardless. Obviously it would be a cheaper fix if you did it yourself, but it's just the convenience of it is so nice.
So Billy, what do you think about the Neo? I mean, you like the Neo?
I'll tell you what, I think it's cool, but it's really difficult to fly outside. Like, it's
just too
it's
light,
not very
right?
powerful at all. Yeah. I mean, look, the Neo is a mini Avata. Like, let's be real. That's really what it comes down to. And I would love to see all of the features on the Neo be transferred to the Avata. I would love the Avata 2 to have the same follow function because it'd be faster and way more nimble,
Yeah. Billy, you still have the original Avata? Or you?
I do. I've got 2 of them, and they're cool. I mean, I think that Avata 1 to Avata 2, the biggest difference is the camera. I mean, the Avata 1. The Avata 1's camera looked really good because people compared it to the FPV camera, and it just crashed the FPV camera because the FPV camera was terrible. But really, in hindsight, when you really looked at the Avata's camera in a vacuum or compare it to other, drones from them, man, it was pretty rough. So the fact that the Avata 2 has a much better camera, I think, is its biggest upgrade that it has.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the biggest thing on drones is really, I mean, it's, most people would buy a new drone because of the camera, not so much of the flight characteristics. I think that's
exactly. Yeah, I think that like the biggest things that really win people over are range, which obviously like these drones can fly as far as you really need them to at this point.
Yeah.
Range is huge, and then I also think that people really care about flight time. I think that's a big thing as well.
Flight time, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But really, I mean, what do you guys think of the flight time now on drones? Do you think that it needs to go up anymore, or do you think that you're happy with where it's at?
I think. I
Not
mean, for me
really.
personally, I don't. I never hardly shoot a whole battery, but I definitely will
I
take a
know.
battery off from 40, 35, well, 45, 50%, where before you hardly ever did that because, if you're only getting 16,
Right.
18, 20 minutes, well, but, now I know you do photo shoots, so you probably do a lot. I mean, do you run out, do you do one battery per shoot, Billy, or does it take a couple?
I'll tell you, no, I could, I
I'm
mean, it really
sure.
depends. Like,
I'm sure you have
sometimes
you got your certain shots that you want, and you just do them, and you get the job done fairly quickly, right?
Yeah.
I do have it down to a science.
Right.
But you could have a small home that just needs a very small amount
Yeah.
of photographs that
Absolutely.
that will take off 7% of my battery. So I land with like 93% left and I'm on to
Yep.
the next job. But then there's others where it might be this huge 100-acre farm.
Yeah.
Well, now you're probably using, a one full battery. And if you got to do some video as well as photos, you might be trending into another battery. But like for me, I don't mind that at all. I mean, I would rather the form factor of the drone stay the way that it is instead of trying to double the size of the drone to give it just a little bit more battery life. I think that it's great the way that it is now. And the only reason I'd want more battery life is for my time lapses that I do. Like I'd love to be able to put the
Yeah.
drone up and do
Yeah. Time
an
lapse.
hour and a half long time lapse instead of just a 24-minute time lapse.
Yeah, especially if you're
Would be
doing
way
a
different.
job or even shooting, even if you're shooting like when we go out to the lighthouse, I mean, just flying out there, it doesn't take very long and you get all the
Yep,
pictures you want. And after 20, 25, 30 minutes, you're like ready to come back and kind of
it's
regroup and
true.
and I don't know. That's a long
Well,
time in the air.
regulations too kind of put a damper on how we can really use these drones. So it's not like I can fly my drone 10 miles away legally and take a bunch of photos. So the range is great to have. The battery life is of course the big limiter in that factor. I mean, you'll get to the point where you hit 50% of your battery and have to turn around
Right.
before you run out of range. So when I think about it, like I think that for what we can do with our drones right now when it comes to the regulations, I'm happy with the battery life because I can't go flying 20 miles away to try to get to the next town to do photos. I have to keep it within my line of sight, which is easy to swap batteries.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
what do you think about the geo
yeah.
fencing being dropped by DJI? You think that's a good thing, bad thing?
Look, selfishly, I'm really happy about it
Right.
because
Yeah.
it was just one extra step that you had to take in order
Yeah.
to launch your drone in certain areas. But
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of worried about the people that just buy a Mini 4 Pro and think they can fly anywhere. And
I
even
know.
people
It's
now that are
gonna cause some
aware.
problems, no doubt about
I
it.
mean, people now, there might be some bad actors out there where, you know, they they are now aware that they can fly anywhere, and they're like, "Well, let's go test it. Let's go down to the airport, see if we can take the drone off." So, I think they should have dipped their toe into this. I feel like they should have removed geofencing on their commercial drones at first. The more expensive drones that
Okay.
people have training for, and they'll understand how to use it, and they'll benefit from something like that. But to give it to everybody, like to now be able to take a Neo and fly it wherever you want, that is super cheap. You can just buy it right off the shelf. That's where things, in my opinion, get a little bit difficult.
Right. That's how I look at it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, of course, I mean, everybody could argue, it wasn't their job to do that, but I think that they were trying
Yeah.
to do something out of, make it safer. And, I mean, your car, same way. I mean, look, it'd be something, you buy a car and you can't go over 70, you have to hit it or something. But it is definitely, I could see, I mean, I think it's a good thing, but, puts it in the pilot's hands. But I'm sure at some point when somebody takes off on a landing pad, from a airport or something, right on it, just to test. Well, first of all, there's no need to test it because it's not there anymore if you do the update. So
It works.
it works. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
it's gonna take off. I know, Marcus, the first couple of days, I mean, he tried it, and Al Searcheron and a bunch of people, but it's not there anymore. So you don't have to worry about it.
It's basically just a warning now. It'll just tell you, but you can just take off easily no matter what. I made a
Exactly.
video about it, and I went to the cell phone waiting lot in Philly, and I had my drone in my car, and I was able to prime the motors, and they spun right up with
Wow.
no
Right.
issue.
Wow.
And that was a spot that you definitely would have got geo fenced out, right?
Yeah, so it's the cell phone waiting lot at Philly, which is, I mean, a quarter mile away from the tarmac, from
Yeah.
the airstrip. So
Mhm.
that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, I can see it, both ways. Given, I mean, I don't know. It's people have bad intentions. I mean, I'll tell years ago they didn't even have the warning, and then they actually put the warning.
Yep.
But they still had no geofencing. So I mean, they've been not having it for years. And if somebody's got, I guess, ill intentions, I mean, I don't think
Look,
you can stop.
I think that there was no reason that DJI should have, and I think that after the whole thing going on with the U.S. government, I think it's almost like an FU to the
Yeah.
government. Like I feel like it's just their way of saying, like, we tried to help,
Exactly.
we tried to make things better, and if you guys are going to continue to play hardball, well, we're going to. I don't think they have a malicious intent here, but I think that they're just going to kind of walk back some of the things that they've been willingly doing to try to make things better here in the States. They're going to say, well, hey, if you guys are giving us a hard time, why are we going to
Yeah, and
go out
they
of our way for you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they got more patience than I would have. I could tell you. I mean, because after a while,
Yeah.
I think that they tried, but because Billy, and I was going to ask you about shipping. What's the deal with shipping lately?
It's tough, right?
It's definitely yesterday I ordered 204 air units the day they came out. Yesterday I got just a plain paper box with one '04 air unit in it, not the light or the '04, not the '04 Pro. And it said the shipments were split. But I'll tell you what, you would have known it came from DJI. So do they have a third party shipping? I know Marcus said that his flip was like just in a brown wrapper box. I mean, just it didn't have DJI anywhere on it.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you can definitely tell there's malicious intent on the custom side because DJI hasn't been banned, they haven't been included in anything. So there's somebody there that is, using their own will to try and make this hard for them to operate here in the States. I've worked with a lot of people that are trying to secure drones for police departments
Right.
and other local entities. So, they're actually going and they're distributors, so they're placing an order on their behalf. They do training for them, et cetera, and they can't get drones in. Like they have orders that are months old for Avata 2s and stuff like that, and they aren't able to get any drone in stock, which is really disturbing, really troubling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I know, of course, we know what Dobo had in Miami. I know Al Sercheron, he had one that was held up in Miami. He sent it to my house, and I got it. It came through Cincinnati, but it came, and then I shipped it to him.
Then you shipped it to him.
And then I think Scott and Nadeau had two drones, one for him and one for his son, Air 3S. They never got them. So where are those drones at? And I guess they'll get back to DJI. And at some point, hey, they're going to get tired of giving you a refund. And you know what I'm saying? Worried they may not have their product back,
Imagine how much money they're losing just on all of these shipping disasters,
Yeah. And and they can hold them, I think, for 30 days. And I mean, there might be a stack of DJI drones at the
I know, right? At all the custom places, they have like just a pile for their drones. Have you guys?
The other thing, Billy, is I got to compliment you on your news interview when that was that.
Oh, thank you.
New Jersey drone hysteria. Your interview was awesome, really.
Thank you. Well, you know what, and I guess now the White House came out, since
yesterday.
since the administration change. Yeah, and they came out and said that they were perfectly legal drone flights, and like you just got to wonder like when an answer is going to be good enough for certain people. Like for some people, I don't think that they'll accept any answer unless it's some crazy theory.
It's a conspiracy.
It has to be some crazy theory about how it's aliens invading, and then they'll accept that somebody's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And I think it was really cool to be able to look at the Google Trend information and just see over time how this search term, how just this whole entire thing has gone from being super popular to just not popular at all. It's like I guess we were bored. Like people were bored, so we had to make some stuff up.
Yeah, and I'm sure you got this. I mean, same questions I get from some of my friends. They would message me and like, "Hey, what is this happening? Is it?" And I one of my neighbors put up a video of something she saw. It was no more than an airplane in the sky. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that was the funniest part. Is like you see these news stations and these news interviews, and they're talking about drones over New Jersey. but they're literally like next to them showing a commercial airliner, like a
It
Boeing
was obvious
747.
too.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems to be out of the news cycle now, though, thankfully, and hopefully with the recent information put out there by the White House, there's not any more circulation of bad information.
Right. Welcome in Richard. No, Raymond Carrera. Is that what it is?
You
Carrera.
guys wouldn't
How you
believe how
doing?
many times
Welcome.
I had the cops called on me.
What's that, Bill?
You guys
During
wouldn't believe
that
how many
mass
times I had the
hysteria.
cops called on me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just, being in Jersey, it's like whenever I put the
Yeah.
drone up in a neighborhood, somebody who thought that they were like an upstanding citizen would, come over and start questioning me, or would just blindly send the police over as if like they found the guy, like as if I was the guy that has been, flying these drones all over the state, and it's like, wow, I'm the one that finally got him.
Yeah. I know we had a lot of people make comments to us, but it was in a joking way when we were flying, really. You sending that drone up to New Jersey, they would say?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had people that were like legitimately afraid and legitimately, questioned who I was and what I was doing, and it was just very
Yeah.
annoying to have to deal with.
Yeah. So Billy, on a Mavic 4 Pro or a Mavic 4, will there be a Mavic 4 Pro or just a Mavic 4? I mean, what do you
I don't
think?
know.
What do you think they'll start off with, or will they, will it be a couple releases at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we've only seen that a couple times, like Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic 2 Zoom, Mavic 3, and then the Mavic 3 Cine. I think that would probably be the route that we would see them go, is some sort of Cine version with a SSD inside. I think that when it comes down to making these different versions, I don't know, they kind of experimented it with like the Mavic 3 Classic. Remember that drone came out and
Yeah.
just had the one single camera?
Right.
And I don't know how that drone sold. I don't know if there was, good sales or if they saw a lack in sales. Obviously, it's been discontinued. It doesn't get sold anymore. But, you saw these different versions come out over the lifespan of the drone. And I just think that it comes down to like, hey, if you want a different version of the Mavic 3, or if you want a drone that's a little bit less, well buy the Air 3S. Like, that's why that exists,
Right.
Like, why make these different versions of the higher end drone? In my opinion, unless you go with the Cine version, unless you have a drone that is completely overkill that most people won't need, because
So what
let's
about
face it,
a new smart controller? Will there be some kind of smart
I'm
controller?
I'm hoping so. There's been some leaks about it. There's been some leaks about a new controller with a different design. And it's funny because I think that that's the one thing where I am so cool with the controller that I have that I feel like I don't need anything else. Like the RC Pro is already so good that I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We talk about plateauing. We talk about like, when will we need any more? And I feel like with the RC Pro, I'm like, this is pretty good for me.
Yeah, the only thing I was kind of surprised about, it seemed like they would have eventually, because the RC Pros are what, $12.99, almost $1,300, and then the
Yep.
RC 2s and 3s are fairly reasonable, $300 or so. It seemed like
Right.
they'd have come out with something a little more in the middle, maybe $600 to $800, maybe. But
Yeah,
I guess the problem people have is they got to be some starting point, drones forward when it will work with, and then people always bitch, well, I buy this and it's not going to work with this drone. But you got to have some. I mean, it's like the goggles. I mean, at some point, they're gonna have so many renditions of goggles that it's not going to work with a certain drone.
They have to have like a master compatibility list,
Right?
Like they have to have like, I know, like for example, on the Apple Store, I don't know if you've ever seen like if you have an iPhone and you download the Apple Store app, it knows what devices are connected to your Apple ID. And
Right.
so when you go to shop for something, like if you go to buy like a new case, they'll be like, oh, this is compatible with your iPhone, like because it knows what iPhone you're using. And like I feel like they need that for drones.
So Billy, the goggles, the cheaper goggles, they work pretty good. But
I like them. The goggles N3 are great. I mean, for me, I think that it's really nice to have that padded foam. They're a little bit bigger, but like you only get that really hard rubber with some of these newer goggles, whereas the N3 are the first ones that have like the really plush, soft
Mm-hmm.
face mask. Where I mean, that they're just so comfortable to wear. Johnny, what are you flying with right now? Do you
I
do a
use
lot
the
of FPV?
goggles
What are you
3,
using?
and the goggles 3. I had the Avata with the Integras, but when I sold the Avata, I sold the Integras. But The Goggles 3 I like, although I do like the Integras, but the Goggles 3 are really nice. I feel that they're and all my home builds are linked to the Goggles 3 now. So
Yeah, look, I mean, it's really hard to get a bad set of goggles from them, but I do really appreciate, just that soft foam, and I wish that just like some of the older FPV goggles, they gave you the option to choose different foams.
yeah.
Like I wish that I was able to choose between the soft and the hard rubber or foam.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, the goggles, I enjoy the FPV. I think the Integras and the Goggles 3 make it easy with the battery. You don't have to worry about that battery.
Yeah, I
So,
do. I do really like that. I hate having the dangling battery.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. I actually have a set that Rick Williamson, Buckeye Drones, gave me when I sold my Integras. I couldn't fly my the home build, so he sent me that. So I appreciate that, and I still use them. Got them. I use them, but the Goggles 3 are nice. I think they're nice.
Yeah, again, it's hard to buy a bad set of goggles right now. I mean, really, the only reason you've got to upgrade is because of the different transmission systems. But I feel like you could still use goggles too and be fine. Like, there's a lot of really good sets that they make.
Billy, did you go to CES?
I didn't know. I didn't go to CES this year. I feel like CES more and more is just becoming a car show, unfortunately. All of these car manufacturers bring their new electric vehicles, their self-driving cars. And
DJI
unfortunately, I
wasn't
mean,
there, right? DJI was not there, right?
no, they
Yeah.
weren't there, and I don't even know if Autel was there. But I mean, that's the thing is like, I actually made a video about this a couple years ago. Like, if Consumer Electronics Show is where the pinnacle of technology is, but there is no drones being shown there, like, are drones actually going to be a really good use in the future if they're not being displayed at the Consumer Electronics Show? So I don't know. It's a weird spot. I think that DJI. I don't know if they are or aren't allowed to be at CES. I know that other events have, banned them and other events have not allowed them to come. Um, the last time I've seen them at an event was at NAB. So I think that they are doing NAB. And I think that that's probably a better conference for them to do because it's more geared towards photographers and videographers rather than just general electronics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and somebody asked, I think I went by, but Billy, I mean, where do you think we stand as of today on a ban? I mean,
So there's a couple of different things floating around there. I think that we're in a good position right now to where nothing that we currently have is going to be banned. I think that the one fear is just that new stuff gets banned, right? So like new stuff being registered to the FCC is the thing that gets banned or the thing that allows us or doesn't allow us to buy drones in the future. So I think that's the one thing that we have to worry about. And I don't really know the status on that one. Following the bill that was added to the National Defense Act a little bit more heavily. Was trying to make videos and spread the word. But the FCC ban is something that I haven't really been following all that much. But that kind of seems like the next thing that needs to kind of, get beaten so that DJI is still sold here.
right. So Billy, what about the Spectre? Have you flown the Spectre drones? Or, I mean,
I haven't, and aren't what the Spectre, right? Where they like basically it's a white labeled DJI drone.
yeah,
Exactly.
same. I just, it seemed like they kind of got in early because I guess they thought the ban was going to happen. I mean, I don't know. They're assembled in Malaysia instead of, but
Yeah, well, it's funny, and good friends over at Pilot Institute pointed this out. When you took the Air 3 and removed the top piece, there's a
right.
top piece to put the dongle in.
Yeah,
There's a part in there that says DJI on it.
Oh, is that right?
And
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then also like when you scan the QR code that is inside of there that shows you how to set up the 4G module, it brings you to a DJI tutorial.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think that the Spectre drone was kind of a cool drone for people that maybe wanted a DJI caliber drone without the geofencing because they removed geofencing. And now DJI did the favor for us and removed it.
They're
So
really not that popular, as far as I know.
what's
Anyway, the Spectre
Spectre?
drones. No.
Yeah, I think that they had like a little boost of popularity, but then from there really wasn't
Right.
anything to look at. I mean, I guess what Spectre, it's just on Amazon. They don't even have I don't need it does look like they have their own website.
No, I think they got actually, but yeah, you can see it. Actually, this drone is 269. It was 219 the other day. So
So they increased the price.
yeah, I mean, well, it was originally more than that. Then it was 219. It was 399 there, and
Well,
then yeah. So
the Spectre Air, which is the Air 3, is only $1,000. How much are they selling the Air 3 for? Is the Air
uh,
3 also
1,300,
$1,000? Hold on.
the Spectre
15,
Air 3.
1549.
The Air 3 is $1,099.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
it's
okay.
$100 cheaper.
but they
Is it worth buying an off-brand drone or whatever? Well, actually, you know what? This is interesting though. This Spectre drone looks like it comes with the built-in RC, with the RC with the built-in screen, which would be looks like you can only buy it with the Fly More combo, so you'd have to spend $1,600.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Billy, what
There's
about
a good question
a
from
question?
Eddie Nunez there, Johnny, about using the
Where's he
Apple
at?
Watch as a beacon.
To control the drone during active tracking sessions.
I think they'll come out with that tracking beacon first before.
The little beacon they were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, they'll come out with that little beacon. I don't think the Apple Watch has enough power to reach,
Yeah.
or to be reliable.
Shadow Chaos, welcome in. Billy, what about the Flip is getting I guess I'll say a kind of bad rap. It has remote ID, but it's not active in the US.
That's what I've heard. So it's so weird because I've seen people say that it doesn't have remote ID, and then I've seen people ask DJI support, and they're like, it does have remote ID. So I don't know why they would or wouldn't turn it off. Like, I don't know what their angle is there. But I know that like this drone could be the perfect option for somebody that needs to fly over people for a
Right.
job, and they can only, fly a drone that has prop guards and is under 250 grams.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it's such a no-brainer option to have in that regard, which is crazy to say that you would use this for professional use, but it just unlocks the ability to do these things. Both remote ID, it makes it
Yeah,
not
and if
not
you put 107,
possible.
of course, you need a remote ID. And if you put a module on there, it's going to be over the 250. So that's,
Yeah, I mean, how much are these remote ID modules running in terms of
like 29
weight? Do you
bucks
know?
now.
But what about weight?
Actually, they're pretty heavy. I think it was like 94 grams, I think.
Yeah, look at this. So there's a remote ID module that's actually sold on Get FPV that looks very stripped down. Doesn't have the weight on here though.
Yeah, I think the one, the Roku one,
This one is 9 grams.
9 grams.
This one is 9 grams, but it looks like you need to solder onto it. So this
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
work with a GPS drone.
Yeah, I think the one at Amazon, there was one. I don't know. I think it was. I actually have it, but I don't know if it's. Because the V copter, gotta have the.
Yeah. The V-copter. Yeah.
No, but I'm enjoying a new iPhone emergency satellite. It's always trying to ping the satellite and say, "Hey, satellite, love it." Marcus Crawford, welcome in. Art, welcome in. No, but the Flip, it is kind of strange. I know Donna Canada said that it definitely has remote ID, but it is not turned on in the US. So it's kind of, is that like a little jab, So I mean,
I don't know. See, that's the thing, is it's jab to the pilots. That's not, because that's like
yeah.
if you're responsible, you're just not gonna
Well,
do
Billy,
that.
you've been in a restaurant. The waitress gets blamed for the cook. You know what I
That is
mean?
so true. That is
So
so true.
we're kind of like out there, and yeah, I guess they can stick it to DJI, but they're also sticking to the guys that buy the drones in and day out. But I mean, hey,
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a reason.
So the big
That's the
question
thing
is, do you think there'll be any drone incursions at the Super Bowl? What do you think, guys?
yes, I do think that there will be. Unfortunately, I do. But hopefully they're quick in shutting them down. I know here at the
stadiums, it's indoor, so it's
true. Yeah, I mean, so they won't stop the game, but I'm sure there'll be people trying to
what was
fly.
interesting? Everybody knows what happened to New Orleans on New Year's Day with the terrorist attack, but the next day, they put the Sugar Bowl off for one day. So my friend goes to the game, and a guy was selling drinks, I guess illegal drinks, but off through an ice chest on a ramp of the Superdome. Now, how can you get up there, with an ice chest, when
Yeah.
I mean, so there's still, there's always a way, and around the Super
But I
Bowl now
think there'll be one or two
yeah. So it's
rogue drone pilots flying around.
yeah.
I
Oh,
do.
I'm
I mean,
sure. I mean,
technically,
of
if
course,
it's in a dome,
New Orleans, the Super Bowl's Superdome is a long way from the airport, so
if it's in a dome, they probably won't put a TFR up.
yeah. I don't
I
know.
don't.
I think I remember getting a TFR the last time they had a Super Bowl in New Orleans here.
Huh.
So
Yeah, I made a whole video on those TFRs, man. They are so overreaching, in my opinion. I mean, down in Philly, you could get a TFR that stretches to the middle of New Jersey, and I'm 30 miles away from the airport, and I can't fly my drone 100 feet high to take pictures. It's something that just always rubs me the wrong
yeah,
way.
and Billy, I mean, is that something? I'm not saying they sneak it in, but I mean, there could be little pockets of TFRs that you could. I mean, I don't say you would miss, but I mean, is it? I mean, does it pop up automatically?
Well, so the TFRs that I'm referencing is when Biden was president and would fly into Philly. I mean,
Got
it
it.
would be immediately the day of. It would be like I wake up in the morning and everything is fine, and then I get to my job an hour later and it's there. You know what I mean? Like it was just like
We
it
got
was
one.
totally
We're getting one.
random.
We're getting one tomorrow at 6:30 here in Palm Beach,
I'm
and it's
Yeah, I
sure
going to
saw
down in
last
that.
Florida
until
now you're getting them more.
February 2nd. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I know that Florida and New York were dealing it, and North Jersey were dealing with it when it came to Trump being in office. And then once it came to Biden being president, I mean, gosh, it seemed like every weekend there was a TFR put up somewhere down in Delaware, somewhere in Philly, and it
yeah.
was so tough to deal with. And so now I feel bad for you, Ray.
You're gonna have to go out to Lake Okeechobee or up to Stewart.
Yeah. And hey, even if you go back up to Long Island, you might deal with some stuff up there too.
Yeah,
I'm sure that around the Superdome, even they'll probably keep small planes away. Just anything can
Mhm.
happen. I mean,
Well, there'll
you
be
know.
festivities around the outside too, so you've got
Oh
to
yeah, they
imagine that
have
it's not just
at
for
the
the game
convention
itself.
center, which is down on the river. You could walk to the Superdome, but it's about probably 3/4 of a mile, and then you got the Championship Square. There's thousands of people in that before you go in the dome. So yeah, I mean it'll be a party, of course, and even in
I'm just
French
so
Quarter.
glad that they lifted those temporary TFRs that they put in
The
place during
ones,
that mass hysteria. My favorite
well,
place in Port Jefferson had one for a
yeah.
month,
So they put
but they
it,
lifted it.
yeah, they put it around critical infrastructure, which I
Right?
found
Yeah.
interesting. So I
Hmm.
guess the power companies were asking, and you know what, man? It fed directly into one of the narratives. People were saying that these drones were coming down and flying over the power stations to harvest energy. That was one of the rumors going around. And so,
Harvest
like, as soon
energy.
as they all right, it's like aliens harvesting their energy. As soon as they put a TFR around the power station, it was like, I knew it. I knew it. They're harvesting our
But
energy.
I do know a pilot who did fly very close to that power station. Though I won't mention any names.
Hey, Billy, Randall's company warned us the company. What was he started?
Anzu, right?
And so
Anzu,
where does that
the
sit?
Green Machine.
Where does that sit right now? I mean, with
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same kind of boat as Specta in a sense that like it's not DJI, not DJI. And I don't know, like I look at it on one hand, both of them in the same boat as thinking, okay, like this is a really great alternative in case shit hits the fan. But then I also look at it and I just think that it kind of makes DJI look bad. Like if you guys didn't have anything to hide, why would there be these other companies popping up with your technology or your drones?
yeah, and one thing it always
Um,
just seemed too easy to me, and I'm sure. I mean, look, I'm sure he spent a lot of money and whatever, but it's like you just can't take this way and just rebrand it in a different. But I mean, I don't know.
they brought it to the back and just spray painted it and
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
hope that would do the trick. No, I mean look, I don't know all of the facts on it, but like I've heard that Specta is a subsidiary of DJI.
Sure, yeah.
I've heard that DJI approached Randall and Anzu.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at it, like it's like if DJI is the one trying to start this, it makes them look bad because they're trying to do these dirty tricks to skirt around a potential
Yeah.
ban,
Straight around. Hmm.
Yeah, so and it's just like, well, hey, if there was nothing to hide, and if you want to keep selling your products, why are you doing this? So I just think it's kind of a little bit of a bad look.
I know.
Um,
I know one thing
well,
they started taking taxes from Louisiana. I know that they used to when you order,
mm,
hey, you used to be able to order and not get charged tax, but
hey, You know what's a good credit card to get is B&H's Payboo credit card.
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah,
heard of that? Yeah. They'll give you cash back in what the tax is in your state. So you can get some pretty good cash back
yeah.
from them.
But Billy, it seems like these drones, hey, the Mavic 4, when it does, and of course the Flip, they're not available like at Best Buy or any other place, are they right now? I don't think,
I actually haven't been keeping tabs on that. I meant to ask you guys, like,
Yeah, no,
when you bought your
I don't think, no, they had, yeah.
No.
And the Air
when you
3S,
bought
the Air 3S was never available, I don't think, at Best Buy.
In
when you
Canada,
bought
you
your
can get them up in the Best Buy in
04
Canada.
Now I
when you
know,
bought your 04 air unit, where'd you buy it from? Directly from DJI?
I did. Well, yeah, I did, but I got one from Race Day Quad before I got it from DJI.
Yeah, so DJI just has Mini 4, Mavic 3 Pro. They sell the Goggles 3, RCN 3, RC Motion 3, all separate as well. Air 3, but yeah, you're right. No Air 3S and no Flip.
Yeah,
And no Avata.
and it just seems
I'm not seeing the Avata on here, which is kind of weird.
no, the Avata 2 is not on there, I don't think anymore. It was.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder if
I
there's
don't
an
know.
issue behind the scenes.
Shipping is going to be strange here in the next couple releases, or at least, and even if you order it, it's kind of a crap because they actually put out a statement the other day about if you order something that you may not get it, basically, is what they were trying to say.
Hey, on here it says the Neo is coming soon.
Oh, really?
Coming soon.
Yeah, coming soon with the Neo. The Avata 2 says sold out, which is weird. They just don't even, they have it listed on here, but they don't sell it.
Yeah, it's like the 04 units, they went sold out like maybe an hour after that they released them. So I don't know if, they had a certain number, but it looks like they got them to the distributors pretty good because Dave Shaddix at Fly High FPV had a bunch, and now mine is held up with the snow and stuff, but they did, and he did get them out to a lot of people. So I think Race Day Quad has them available. So yeah, it seems like they kind of supplied the shippers, and I guess because I don't know, but getting them individually seems like it's been a little tough from DJI. All right, guys. Let's see. Let me get this giveaway too. Let's give away this couple prizes here.
Sticker pack and the Start RC hat.
Yeah, 22 entries. Go ahead.
Good luck, everybody.
Let's give away the sticker pack first. And if you want it recently or you want to give it to somebody, just hit me up. I'll mail it to them. USA shipping only. This is for the sticker pack. Marcus.
Oh, congratulations.
He definitely rigged that.
Oh, man.
Marcus. All right, this will be for the Start RC baseball cap.
Man, he definitely rigged that.
I say.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to wait till April. He's going to wait till April to get it. I can tell you that. John Olsen.
All right, John. Congrats.
All right, I'll get that to John. Hit me up and give me Ray. I'll get John's address. Well, Billy, hey, we thank you so much. It's been an hour.
Thanks for being on, Billy.
It goes back quickly.
Hey,
we appreciate it, and I know you're always busy, but we love having you on. And
looking forward to seeing you at the South Florida Drone Meetup again.
You and
see you down in Florida, guys.
Yep. All right, Bill. Thanks.
See y'all.
But no, hey guys, great show. We appreciate you tuning in, and it's always fun. 2 weeks from tonight, Ray, what will we do? We got videos we'll show. Send us your videos. We'll show those. And Ray, who you got tomorrow night?
We got John Gregory, the Connecticut Pirate. He's going to be on. So I'm looking forward to talking to John again. He's coming to the South Florida Drone Meetup with his lovely wife, Holly. So we're going to get to meet her. And he's sponsoring it. He donated a Neo. And
John's, I'll tell you what, he sends, I got a gift card right here. He always helps with my shipping. He wants it to be used for the show. And that's, we do ship a lot of stuff and we love giving these prizes away. But 2 weeks from tonight, we'll show videos and send me your videos as you get a little closer. Of course, the South Florida Drone Meetup, we just 66 days away, Ray. And I think, I know everybody is excited. It's here. I mean, it's basically here. I would say if you don't have your rooms booked,
that's what I was just going to say. If you don't got your room, get a hold of that Hampton Inn and Suites. Stewart North. Call them direct. Tell them
You
you're
know,
with the South Florida Drone Meetup Group, and hopefully you'll still be able to get our deeply discounted rate.
yeah, I mean, and I know right now we got some great prizes. Air 3S, we probably got 5 or 6 Neos, may get some more Neos. We got the FPV drone that my son-in-law built. We got the 2 flags, of course, one from Ronnie and one from Bob Casey. I know Marcus, I think, sent some drones or is sending some drones.
They're coming. He didn't tell me what they were, but he wanted the address, so they're coming.
Eddie Nunez is going to send the new Mavic 4, I think he said, you know. But no, we got some great prizes. A lot of people donating T-shirts and caps, and we got Philip Koshat did some SD cards.
Micro SD cards.
Yeah, which you can always use. So you know, we got some, and we'll be getting some stuff from I know.
A lot of people are going to go home with giveaway
Master
prizes.
Ashford. Yeah, I got some stuff from Gym Fans. So we'll, you know. We'll have a great time, and look, everybody will walk away with something. I guarantee it, you know. And if not, just take an extra slice of pizza because we'll have a lot of pizza left.
Speaking of which, we received the money for the lunch sponsorship, so we got to say thank you to Greg again. I received his lanyards. You know, he sent the lanyards again, and he's also, you know, giving away 5 free Part 107 courses.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So,
yeah.
Really, they're great prizes. They really are.
Guys, and, you know what? I would say if you haven't done your Part 107, I would definitely consider thinking about doing it because it's just, you know, even if you don't intend on doing any work, but the knowledge that you gain from that course is, and you know, once you log into that course and all, you're a member for life. If you got to go back and look up something, and so it's a great course, and Greg's a big support of you know, all the channels. So yeah, we want to thank him for that. All right, Ray. Well,
right. Thank you all for watching. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah, everybody have a great Wednesday night. Let's see. Bill Thomas is well, about 30 minutes. He'll get started 25 minutes. So
get out there and fly for fun, but most importantly, fly safely.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.